So after we score a basket and our opponent has to inbound the ball along the baseline in their backcourt, this is how we set up our 1-2-1-1 or diamond zone press. In a zone press, players have specific roles and zone coverages. Let's go over them now. The front defender in the press has two main responsibilities. Once the ball is inbounded, their job is to stay in front and encourage the sideline. Don't let your opponent bring the ball up the middle. Stopping your opponents from advancing the ball up the middle gives you the advantage of the sidelines. Once the ball is inbounded, our 3-player is responsible for staying in front of the ball and encouraging the sideline. Even if the ball is inbounded and the offense dribbles down the opposite side of the court, it's still our number 3 player's responsibility to stay in front and encourage the sideline. I've numbered this position 3, but whoever you choose to play this spot should be able to stay in front of their opponent and force them to pick up the dribble and make a pass difficult without fouling. This is your front defender's area of responsibility. Now let's look at the next level in our press and the responsibility of our 2 defenders here. Once the ball is inbounded and our front defender forces the ball down a sideline, it's our second level defender's responsibility to take the correct angle and cut off the sideline. If our second line of defense doesn't cut off the sideline and allows our opponent to get around here, our press is broken. Teach your players to take a good angle of attack and to step on the sideline if necessary. If we are successful in trapping along the sideline here, the only pass we will allow without pressure is the pass back to the inbounder. We will always allow this pass. When the ball is forced to the sideline and we trap, the offense will likely try to get the ball to the middle of the court to break the press. It's our opposite side defender's responsibility to deny or steal this pass. Here's a look with the ball advancing along the other sideline. When our player 2 comes to trap, the opposite defender looks to take away any pass to the middle. So our second line defenders in this press are responsible for cutting off the sidelines and trapping in this area of the court. Player 1 is responsible for trapping and cutting off the middle pass on one side of the court, and player 2 is responsible for the other half. Teach your players good trapping techniques, controlled closeouts, high hands, and no reaching or fouling. Any pass out of the trap should be difficult, with both trappers' hands up high and active. The only pass out of the trap is usually a high lobbing pass, and those are easier to pick off or deflect. Now let's go over player 4's press responsibilities. After player 3 encourages the sideline, player 1 cuts off the sideline and traps, and player 2 takes away this middle pass. The most common strategy from your opponent will be to try and pass out of the trap to a teammate here. This looks like the easiest pass to make. Player 4 is responsible for taking away this sideline pass while watching out for the pass to the middle as well. Player 4 needs to learn to split the distance between the middle and the sideline opponents. Even though player 2 has the middle pass covered, cheating too much to the sideline can leave your middle exposed to a good lead pass. The best way for player 4 to play this position in the press is to watch their opponent's eyes and try to make the sideline pass look open when it's really not. So player 4's area of responsibility is both sides of the court in this area. This position in the press will get the most deflections and steals. I have a firm rule that if you go for the steal, you must put a hand on the ball. Teach your players to only go for the steal or deflection when they are absolutely sure they can at least put a hand on the ball. A complete miss on a pass can lead to easy points for your opponents. Now let's go over player 5's press responsibilities. Player 5 is our safety and has two main responsibilities. The first is to stay as deep as the farthest opponent back. The second responsibility is not to give up any layups. Even if the farthest player back is at half court, our safety can come up that high in this press so long as no one gets behind them. So let's review. Our front defender stays in front and encourages the sideline, and we will always allow this pass back to the inbounder. They are responsible for encouraging the sideline on both sides of the court. Most steals and deflections are going to come from our 4-player, with passes out of the trap to the middle or the sideline. Steals and deflections can also come from our second defender here. Our second line defenders need to take a good angle to trap along the sideline. If our opponent dribbles around us, our press is broken. And lastly, our safety must stay as deep as the last defender and not give up any layups. These are the press goals I identified to my players. The first goal is to create pressure and make it difficult to dribble or pass the ball. You'll find that most times, pressure alone is enough to accomplish our second goal, which is to force turnovers. Turnovers can happen in many ways. Here are the turnovers I make sure my teams are aware of. 10-second backcourt violation, 5-second closely guarded violation, 5-second held ball violation, double or illegal dribble violation, out of bounds violation, traveling violation, bad pass out of bounds, or forcing our opponent to call a timeout. Well, this isn't a turnover. I still consider this a positive as we've forced our opponents to burn a timeout. Unless we're trying to stop the clock. The third goal I identified to my players is no reaching or fouling. Unless we're trying to stop the clock from running, we don't want to put our opponents into the bonus situation or get into foul trouble. And lastly, I let my players know that steals are great, but they're a bonus from our press. Stay focused on creating pressure and causing havoc. Thanks for watching my...
The 1-2-1-1 or diamond press is a very effective tool that you can use with your team to apply pressure to your opponent and can create easy baskets and easy offense. Let's look at some of the pieces that make the diamond press successful. Position-wise, we talk about our player on the ball, we call our ball hawk, okay? We have 2 wing players, we have a middle, and we have a basket protector. So those are our 5 spots on the floor. Our ball hawk will be up on the basketball and looking to deflect. He's looking at the inbounder's eyes and following the ball. He's going to close off the middle of the floor, allowing a short pass to the same sideline. Our goal is to allow the pass to come in below or at the foul line extended. Nothing above the foul line extended, and no passes, no entry passes to the middle of the floor. So as teams set up offensively, you see the 2 white players on the wings offensively, and our 2 defensive wings in their defensive stance, reading the eyes of the inbounder as well. Our middle is also looking at the inbounder's eyes, and as the ball gets put into play, we have a chain reaction of all our players moving depending on where the ball is entered. If our ball hawk does a great job and forces a low entry below the foul line and to the wing, step to the ball, we enter. We're going to follow with our ball hawk and our wing, and we look to trap on the dribble, okay? So you back up a little, because you should back up 1 step right now. Patrick, just back up. He just caught the ball. Until the ball hawk gets into play, you're playing him one-on-one, and you want to make him dribble the ball. You're not going to trap until he puts it down. That allows our ball hawk and our wing, once he picks up the dribble, we are looking to mirror the ball. So pivot, let me see you pivot offensively, bring the ball overhead, bring it up. When that ball comes up, your hands come up. Look, try to throw a bounce pass. Step down low. Take a step like you're going to throw a bounce pass. Your hands go down, okay? You're taking away vision if you're in the trap, and you're looking to deflect. You are putting your teammates in position, your middle as an interceptor and your other wing as the interceptor. They make the steals, you make the deflection, okay? So we're trapping here. We're looking up the floor. Offensively, the next player up the floor is going to be looked and watched closely by your middle, okay? He's going to split the middle and the sideline so that on any pass, he's in position to come and make the steal, okay? So if this pass comes, we're coming to step in. One of the teaching points, you can give it back in the trap. One of your teaching points, coaches, is that you don't want your middleman to come all the way over while the trap is on, because now the ball handler sees that he doesn't have this pass. He may look off and he will not throw it. But if you have him split off, watch his eyes and anticipate, puts him in a position where he can now come in and make that steal, okay? Same thing on the top, okay, with your wing. So the ball is trapped. Norman's come back to the midpoint here. Good. Now he picks up his dribble. Your opposite wing is now splitting off the inbounder and the opposite offensive wing. The great thing about this, coaches, is that on any pass that goes back to the inbounder, if we get beat here, we have 94 feet to recover and to play defense. So any time we're in position and this pass is made, we go for that pass 100%, okay? So in the trap, we're here, make the pass, go, right? Steal out of bounds, or even if we get beat, now we have 94 feet to recover, okay? Stay in your trap. One last rotation for you, coaches, in your stance here. Reverse the ball, let him catch it. Coach, reverse it. One more pass. We slide off. Nope, you're going to have to stop here first. You'll be good to go, but what's going to happen is Norm now has to guard him one-on-one, okay? And make him try. He's got to square off. You're not going to force. We don't want to give up sideline. We don't want to give up middle. You just need to keep him in front, force him to take dribbles going left and right, and now you're coming, you're dropping, you're good, drop back, and Makai's protecting the basket in the back. Now, out of the press, out of this 1-2-2, we're giving you the trap options. It's up to your system, coaches, where either you're going from a diamond press back into man-to-man, or diamond press back into a zone defense. It's all about what you practice, what you decide, what your philosophy is. You can do both. You can do either. But from here, this takes some time. You would be blowing the whistle, getting your players in position, showing that if we have a trap, let's say Patrick is still on the other side of the floor. You would need to blow your whistle, like right now, you want to stop this. I blow my whistle. I say, look at where we are. Patrick, you're out of position, right? You need to be here. So there's a lot of time that it takes to learn it, but once you stay with it, once you create that system, common terminology, okay, this is a great press, which again will involve you getting easy baskets, easy shot opportunities, and certainly putting your opponent on their heels.